Whew, sorry about that. We're live with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, chief host of the show, and joining me, as always, is none other than my co-host, Noble.
Pokemon cards are too expensive today.
Oh, you're not any trading card fan knows that problem too damn well, and it's not just Pokemon. Magic the Gathering cards have gone too expensive, and and they're not printing enough to solve that problem. Same with
I,
Pokemon, I would imagine.
I personally feel sorry for the kids that want to just get a couple of decks, and you got some like grown ass adult my own age turning around and telling them "fuck you." It's like, what the hell?
Right.
Basically jacking up the price, right? Because it's a fandom.
No,
Oh my goodness.
seriously. If I'd gone in there
That's
and
a
I
good
picked
point.
up like a couple of packs of cards, and there's this kid that rocks up, and there's no other cards left, I'd be like, fuck it, here, take one.
Mm.
Well, there
Whereas
you
most
go.
adults would probably smack them down if they tried to go in anywhere near them, or even ask. It's like,
Right. Because sometimes, like when I go to my shop, I've sometimes seen the odd person buy, like an entire box of boosters, and sometimes we just like my eyes just open up, like, oh,
when I was a kid, that was just a shocking thing. Although a card shop locally did suggest that they would do that.
yeah. And I guess that's pretty much why we kind of had the supply problem, because now people are just trying to, either get the cards and trying to flip them for money, or to just, artificially raise the prices up. But anyway, where are my manners though? Joining me today is, of course, Avira.
Hello, guys. It is Candy Corn Doggo. Coming back here. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Friday or Saturday wherever you are. And yeah, it's about a week ish until Spooky Day, until Halloween, guys. Oh man, I'm super hyped. I don't know about you, but I already got like my decorations. I got my pumpkins. I didn't carve them yet because I want to wait maybe like a couple of days before Halloween happens until I start to carve my pumpkins. Because then I'll use the seeds and like roast them and make something like a snack out of them or something. But I don't want like my pumpkins to rot, so I'm thinking maybe like maybe the 27th or 28th. That's when I might start doing some pumpkin carving. How about you? You guys in Australia, you don't really do the whole pumpkin thing, though,
We don't do the whole pumpkin thing. I mean, of course,
right?
if you do pumpkins, you could. Although it's always
Well,
funny that I observe, like the coffee I buy, I get my coffee in these coffee pods, and the store I get them from every month like this, and in September they sell the pumpkin latte ones in
yes,
pods, so
pumpkin spice is
you can
very
consume
popular
it.
here.
Yeah, and it's a seasonal thing. That's okay though.
hmm
But
Well,
of course, it's Halloween, and I must resend to you that one meme of us people in Australia saying, fuck off with that American shit, cunts.
oh man,
Well,
it really is like an American kind of traditional holiday. A lot of my friends around the world, they don't do that. Like, because I swear, every single house on like my block, or maybe like 99% of them, have a pumpkin, like a legit giant orange gourd on their front porch. At least one or two or five. Yeah,
Right.
everybody just buys pumpkins. That's just what you do.
I don't know how
Yeah.
happy this will make you, but in my own state, you can go into the Coles supermarket and they've got pumpkins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
like
on.
not just
And
that.
that only happens like this time of year, right? Like you can't just buy them any other time.
Well, you can buy normal pumpkins, except this time they've got some really wonky looking ones.
Yeah, they do. Nice. All like the bumpy looking gourds with like warts on them, or like the
Yep.
twisted ones like with the stems. I love them.
Nope.
Nice.
I would think that's also a matter of something that you can get at the fruit shop or the farmers markets, if at that.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
I'd be questioning
Literally in my
whether
neighborhood, everyone's selling them.
I'd be wondering if whether or not they'd be in season around this time of year in Australia.
I don't think so because they're more of like an autumn harvest sort of thing. You plant them during the spring and then they grow into the summer, and then once it gets cold out, then you harvest them. So I think for you guys, it might be kind of like the opposite season. Like whenever it gets cold for you guys, that's when you start to harvest them. But that would be like in the summer for us, like the different hemispheres, you know.
Uh,
But yeah, pumpkins are definitely a big part of American culture, I would say. Like I can't wait to start carving mine. But yeah,
And you're also a
well,
week
let me
out,
know in
and
the
then of
comments
course,
if you do anything
um,
about that. Huh?
and yet it's also got you also can't wait for the whole like line of kids trying to go out and start door knocking.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, when I was a kid, of course, that was a big thing we would do. Sometimes, unfortunately, we would have school that day, so we'd have to wait until we get out of school and then just be out literally all night. Sometimes we would change costumes, like we would hit the entire neighborhood, right, and then come back to our house and then like switch costumes and then hit the same houses like 2 or 3 times and get more candy. When we were like
Creative.
8 or 9 years old, the crazy shit we would do. It was fun.
Yeah, man, that's how you cheated the whole thing back in the day. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You
my mom
literally, you
told me that
literally
that's
double
what she
dip.
did, like back in the 80s.
Oh yeah, 100%. You double dip, 100%, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Times have changed now. Everyone's way too soft and a bit of a pussy.
Right, and I think there's like something to be said about COVID pretty much ruining Halloween for a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely did. Definitely.
So was it trick or
We
treat
used to
or
go trick
COVID?
or treat. Some people did. I think. No, it was,
No, no.
some people still did.
The joke, the joke I was trying to portray was this: instead of being trick or treat, was it trick, treat, or COVID? The person at the house gives the child
Oh,
COVID.
that is sick. Yeah, now I get where you're getting at. I get where you're getting at.
Yeah, you just touch the candy and then you're poisoned. Oh no. That's dark,
Oh no,
bro.
that'll be a third option.
Oh, that would actually be a good third option. And yet, it was just so funny because like a couple years back when COVID hit, people actually ended up getting creative with the whole trick or treat thing, and that they would they would hide candies in the tree that's right in front of right in front of the house street.
Yeah, or they can just like put a bowl out with a little sign that says, "Hey, please take one. Happy Halloween," something like that.
Oh sure, honesty's going to work very well in that sort of time period.
Yeah, you can
Um,
it's like
yeah,
like yeah, and then there's the whole you can treat, but you have to social distance. Good times, right?
or what I've seen some people do is they put a gumball machine in front of their porch, right? So they'd have to put in a quarter, twist it, and then get a gumball, and then there you go. That's your candy. So
So now, so
and then
wait,
there was like a little Purell bottle next to it. Okay, so wipe your hands and shit. After you touch our machine. But trick or treat, guys. No
so
bowl,
hold
no
on.
nothing. If you want some candy, you give a quarter.
So hang on, you actually had kids on Halloween paying people for lollies.
So that was not my neighbor, but my next door neighbor's house. So I'm sorry, not my next door neighbor, but the one next to me. So I didn't know them, but they had on their front porch, yeah, a gumball machine. Because it was hype COVID time. It was like in the middle of the hype. So they were like, all right, they put a sign on it, Happy Halloween. And yeah, you have to twist the shit to get a gumball. I don't know if you actually had to pay a quarter, or I think it was just like you twist it and then a candy comes out or whatever it was, but I got a picture of it. Oh, sick. But back in the day, man, like it was wild times. Like you couldn't like restaurants were having people eat outside in bubbles. Like it was a weird time.
I
At
actually
least
enjoyed it.
Halloween wasn't totally dead. It was weird, right? It was like the apocalypse. What the crap? Anyways.
Good times though. But regardless of that, though, I hear here, Halloween is always a fun time for those who choose to,
Hmm.
set out.
Yes.
And it's not like 2025 has been more interesting.
Yeah, and sometimes you get the chance of it's Halloween, literal Halloween on the streets. There's some people who just take a little step too far. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I mean, they do leave us plans if you do plan to celebrate Halloween and what kind of shenanigans and costumes you're going to get up to and rocking. Right. So, without further ado, we have to present to you the show and the stuff that's contained within. And one of these things that's on the show is, of course, we have a big legendary problem on our hands. Yes, we know, mhm. So, the one game that a lot of people that have been looking forward to this year, of course, is Pokemon Legends Z-A.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Of course, a lot of people got hyped about it. It was it was the big game, and they basically said, they were gonna revolutionize the way that people play Pokemon because it's now, they're stepping away. They're now getting Pokemon to fight in real time and all of that. But things came out. Let's just say a lot of people were disappointed in Pokemon's efforts.
Yeah, just to clarify, it has nothing to do with the fact the game looks like ass.
Well, that is actually a considerable part of it, though. The game looks a bit how you're doing.
Well,
You could argue
pre-release, versus,
even it has the graphical quality of a PS2 game.
well, yeah, that's the problem. Is the pre and post-release. See, pre-release thought that it looks like ass. Post-release makes you want to turn around and just burn it.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
are you saying that the pre-release looked better than what came out afterwards? So it
No, the
decreased
pre-release,
in quality?
the pre-release advert
The
ads
trailers
and
and all of that,
all that
Looked
sort of
better
stuff.
than what actually came out.
No, it looked bad, but when it was
Okay.
released, it's 10 times worse.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
what I'm
not just
saying.
because of how it looks.
Okay. Oh damn! What else is wrong with it? Goodness, what happened?
there's a lot of
It's not a
okay.
kid's game
What
anymore.
happened?
Well,
Oh boy.
it is a kids game, but but some of the dialogue here you're about to find out is very 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 dubious, and I would argue that in its context or whatever have you, Pokemon should now be rated M for mature instead of being rated as a kids game. Let me
I
let me
swear,
definitely show you some dialogue that is in the game.
if a
Presented as it
fairy,
is, nothing is edited. Yeah. Here
I
we go.
swear, if a fairy wasn't responsible for this, I'm going to be shocked.
I'm
Right.
betting you're
Well-
probably correct.
Well, let's read some of the dialogue that's in the game. Okay.
Let's do it.
If I'm upset, giving my partner's Pokeball a little squeeze helps.
And
Okay.
this is a black woman, isn't it? Saying this
Yes.
in the game.
Yes.
Just a little squeeze. Gonna squeeze the ball a bit. Okay. No big deal.
Okay. No biggie. No biggie. Yeah.
I think it would have been better if this had actually
That's
been a
fine.
guy. It would have been more funny.
Yeah. That's just okay. I'm a little stressed. I'm a little upset. Okay. Let's just squeeze the ball. Okay. Now I'm a little less
Yeah,
upset, less stressed. Yes.
that'll work. There you go.
Now, if
Oh
this
no.
was the only one, it'd be like, yeah, okay, but
Oh, no,
sure.
there's more. There's more. We've got a
Yeah.
thread full of these. Here's the next one. Hey, for water type moves, do you think Pokemon use their sweat or other bodily fluids?
Good question, Ash. Yeah. Or whoever that is. Good question. I wonder. I always wondered about that, about Pokemon's bodily fluids. Yeah, That's something that should definitely be in a children's comic. I mean, like, what else? Tears? Saliva? Pee? What the heck?
Or goodness,
Well,
that
why are they
you
asking
you
about this?
really are asking all the important questions here, aren't you?
No, not me. They brought it up. But
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
asking
yeah.
about bodily fluids. I'm
I'm
just,
not.
I'm
Yeah,
just concerned. I don't know.
I'm
Why are
just
they saying that?
like, what kind of
I want to
Pokemon
know.
biology is an interesting thing. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh
Is there
goodness.
more? Oh goodness.
Oh, there's more. There's more. All right, but like I said, we have a thread full of these, so let's go. Next one here. Another day without being reincarnated as a Pokemon.
Oh no.
My girl, if you want to be reincarnated, like they should have. Why isn't there a Pokemon version of Hinduism where you can actually live out that sort of dream?
There is the one of the offshoot games where you have people you have someone getting reincarnated as a Pokemon and they end up in a completely different planet. It's only populated by Pokemon.
Mhm.
Oh, so that means that Pokemon don't just live on Earth; they live on other planets too.
Well,
That's
it's
interesting.
Earth, but like another dimension or something. I've never seen it
Oh,
really
cool. Okay.
clarified.
Alright.
I think it's like Pokemon Team Rescue something, and they've had several different iterations of it over the years.
Hmm.
But this
Okay.
could
Didn't know
also be
about
an
that.
isekai thing.
Well, it seems like she's tried this before. So she like wakes up like, damn it, I guess I'm not a Pokemon today.
Or
Better
like,
keep on trying.
or like, girl tried to yeet herself only to find out that it was all a dream and
Yeah.
still
Or she keeps
Huma.
trying to eat herself, and she just doesn't wake up as a Pokemon this time. Oh no, so
Oh
dark.
no. Oh no.
The,
Anyway, next one. Eyes. Aim for the eyes. Those were my brother's last words.
that's
Um,
morbid.
yeah, I don't really get that one. Well, aim for the eyes. Are they talking about like shooting a weapon or something, or
Here's the thing, like I don't know, like what
is
the
it a sexual
situation
thing?
tells you something that, man's brother basically tried to fight a Pokemon and then those were his last words.
He's also black.
Okay. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I
I don't
just
know
don't
if
really
that's
get this
anything
one.
to do with it though, but NPCs are in the modern era, NPCs are yeah, more diverse than one would give it for. Which yeah, but that's a story for another time. But that is next one. Do you think we'd win all our battles if we asked an AI for instructions?
Uh-oh. Hey.
Oh,
Well, that's a little bit more relevant now. Holy bunkers. Yeah, probably, probably so. And they're asking this. What the fuck? No, ask Cyber Soldier Porygon if you want like an AI Pokemon or something.
Right. Okay.
They
Yeah.
literally.
Next one. Anything supernatural can be considered occult, and Pokemon are certainly fantastic beings.
True.
I mean, there are some things that could be considered in that case. In one case, you've got one side of people who say, that's witchcraft, and in the other, you know,
Yeah,
it's
or you have
it's divine miracle. It's a
like
divine.
or you have PETA saying that it's animal abuse. How they fight each other and stuff.
all right. So I've got a question. Do you think someone had actually turned around and made these up themselves, or Do you think if Game Freak relied on AI,
Could be. Could be.
I think this
Either
was
that.
someone's idea.
Yeah. Either that. Like,
Yeah.
there's a couple of things that could be done here. Like, either they used AI, or somebody deliberately mistranslated the dialogue from the Japanese version to this.
if they mistranslated it, I would consider things to be a little different. To be
Right.
honest.
Like, like who translates that line or whatever into asking about like some of the dialogue that we've just had to go through, regarding things like bodily fluids.
So, but that was translated from Japanese to English, right? So that's what they
Could
were saying in that
I
thing,
don't
right?
Here's the thing. Like I have yet to see the original video of it from the Japanese version of the game, and seeing a live translation of some of the AI dialogue, the NPC
Because
dialogue.
that that would be rather goofy if like that's what they're
Right.
actually
That's
saying,
what.
or if they're saying something completely different, and that's just what we're seeing as the subtitle.
Yeah, precisely. And of course, we'll go through. There's more examples of it.
Mhm.
Pokemon. To continue on from that, Pokemon are certainly fantastic beings. Ergo, Pokemon are part of the occult. Have we been lied to all this time? Are Pokemon magical creatures? Are they demons?
It's paganism. Oh no, the children are not safe. The devil is upon ye.
Children are not safe if they play this game.
It supports violent and the devil. Oh my goodness.
Oh, how far we've come. Remember those days in the 90s where there was like so much
Yes.
moral panic about Pokemon?
Yeah, Pokemon, Harry Potter. That was a big one. Lord of the Rings, even. Yeah, that was like during that time when all these fantasy stuff was starting to come around, and
Yeah,
of
and
course
then
the
people
popular
they
Yu-Gi-Oh and
had this more
anime,
satanic
Pokemon.
panic around video games.
Yeah, music, all that stuff.
All right, next one we've got for you. Let's continue. Just like people, Pokemon can vary. Their gender can be male, female, or unknown. I mean, that is the truth for Pokemon. There's male, female, and genderless Pokemon. But genderless people? Nah.
That
Nah.
kind of requires an axe and a lot of screaming.
Well, it requires that and a lot of deluding yourself.
Yeah, like someone's brain to be cross-wired, essentially. No, when it comes to Pokemon, though, they have the unknown genders, or I guess they're not even genders. They're like those weird, like purple symbols, like with the eyeball in
It's
them, the
it's like
letters.
genderless, but there's no gender. Like there's examples of this like Ditto and the legendaries, which are
Yeah,
genderless by
I guess.
definition.
Joel,
Okay,
Ditto's just a
that's a good
slut.
point. No, Ditto is the perfect transgender because he's always in transition, right? That makes
No, I
perfect
always
sense.
saw Ditto as a slut because it will sleep with anything.
Right, that's the thing. Like everyone learned early, like back in the days, like if you wanted to breed another thing and you don't have a suitable female because Pokemon are matrilinear, you use a Ditto.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess so.
All right. So next one, go where you want, die where you must. Okay, that doesn't.
Not exactly
I
something
can't
I'd
see
like
that
to
one
see
too.
in a kid's game.
No, no, me neither.
Huh. Kind of weird.
When I wish I could crawl into a hole and simply disappear, but I can't find a hole to crawl into.
Oh. Well, okay, that's kind of depressing. Yikes, man. Does someone need a hug? What's up with that?
Oh, someone looking for a place to hide. Oh,
Yeah, crawl into a hole and go away. This is portrayed in the game, mind you. Right? Like, this is a real thing that showed up?
It's NPC dialogue.
Yikes! This is nuts.
You want to know the
I
sad
swear.
thing? I haven't played this game specifically, but in previous Pokemon games, if you turn around and talk to NPCs, some of them will give you an actual item. So there is an incentive to turn around and to interact with NPCs within the game.
Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense. Of course, like they're programmed, like to be there for interaction. Make the game experience feel more realistic. So sure, that I get that.
Sarah, you did it.
What? What happened?
Make the game they seem more realistic.
Yeah, yeah, right. I mean, it's like you're talking to people, right? What do you mean? Why are you laughing at me? What I say?
Because you
What the
walk
heck,
up to
Noble?
someone, you ask someone a question, and you get nothing but a creepy response.
Well, I mean, sometimes, yeah, like that's what happens. Like if you're strolling the streets and like, "Hi, how you doing? I want to leave these walls. I'm real. I'm real." Like sometimes they get freaky with it, but yeah, talking to people on the streets, like interacting with anyone in the game sphere, wouldn't that make it more realistic, right? I would imagine so. At least, maybe not realistic. I was wrong. I meant more
Joel,
immersive,
Oh,
right?
speaking of Avira, I think you have a perfect thing to go into, because this is actually a funny moment in Pokemon Legends. Like, what happens if, like, this is so thing. I want out. I want out. I want out. Well, what happens if you want out of Pokemon Legends Z-A? Well, this is a thing. Okay. So I just want to quickly play this video here for you if you can watch. So what happens if you try and leave the game of Pokemon Legends ZA? A train bound for the airport there. You want to leave the city. Are you sure? If you're bored, you leave others behind. You've got unfinished business. It's probably better not to leave. You get asked twice to say, don't leave. Don't, I want to leave. Are you sure? No. Yes, I want to leave. And then I want to leave. And then you finally do it. You leave. But you boarded a train bound for the airport. This is really it. Adieu, Lumio City. They make it sound so dramatic. But you know what though? What actually happened is, okay, so that's a video. Of course, a video.
Okay, so you're able to leave, right? Even if
But
they
what
want to
actually
persuade you
happens
to
is, I
stay.
saw it. You end up in a park bench and says, "Oh, this is a dream."
No, it was a fake out. So if you wanted to leave, you were able to do so. You get on your little boat and sail away. Now
And
you're
then
free, and then all
you
of a
end up
sudden you
back in a
wake
park
up.
bench in the city,
No,
and it says it's a dream.
what the heck? Oh, that's bonkers, man! What a trip.
Now, hold on. This kind of reminds me of a movie I came across once.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I think it was Level 13 or something.
A movie? Level 13.
Yep.
And how is it like similar?
Well, outside of a designated area within a digital world, nothing existed. And an AI character basically went completely batshit crazy and started killing people because they realized that the world wasn't real. And then you found out the characters that we'd been watching this whole time were in fact all AI. So you got to see an Inception. So it's sort of like the Inception movie, just like in the 90s though.
Oh, dude, that sounds gnarly. I totally want to see that. Level 13? Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
And you know what? It's just so funny as well. Like there's more. There's one more piece of dialogue I've got to show you, and like it almost feels like in some way Pokemon is trying to play catch up with its competitors in the game. In the same genre of games. Against your Power Worlds, your Digimons, and all of that. And and it's not just in the combat system that they finally, it took them until 2025 to go into real time.
Jolt, I sent you a link.
Right, 13th floor. Okay, we'll probably get to that at some point. But there is here. We got to show you this one. How are you supposed to get rid of Pokemon droppings?
What?
How
Pokemon
are we
poop.
supposed to get rid? Ah, I guess that's something you don't really think about because typically your Pokemon are always in their Pokeball and they kind of just take care of their business there, right? They only really
Right.
come out to battle.
Right,
But
exactly.
Pikachu doesn't like going in his Pokeball, so I guess he poops in the bathroom. I've never seen Ash pick up, Pikachu shit before, so I don't know how to
Right.
answer that question.
Meanwhile, Pokemon's other most direct competitor, Digimon, meanwhile,
Mm-hmm.
they've made it clear since day one that Digimon poop.
Oh, they do. Yes, they do. Digimon poop. As a trainer, of course, you have to take care of basic hygiene with your Digimon. Every trainer should know that. Very important.
Hmm. Yeah,
Has that
otherwise
ever
you end
been
up you end
addressed?
up being the literal poop monster. So yes, they're answering all the important questions now, but it took a game like this to do so.
Of course.
But yes. Now here's the shocking thing though, to get back into the whole like why there's a lot of gripes about Pokemon Legends Z-A. I mean, we all a lot of people have observed, yes, the quality of the game is a bit subpar, and it looks like it's made like with a budget of a PS2 game. Because if you look at the
Hmm.
textures and stuff, it's a bit, it's of course shocking how you're doing. The funny thing is though, Noble, I'm sure you know this, but Pokemon Legends only ZA only needed to sell 200,000 copies or 300,000 copies to break even.
Wait, really?
Right, if they're charging a brand new copy of the game at $70 US, and and if they're saying that they need 200 or 300,000 copies to sell to break even, you do the math, and then yeah,
They basically had to sell nothing in order to make a profit.
right. Right, like so it basically
Wow.
cost the equivalent of like 14 or 15 million bucks to make this game, and charging at the prices for a new game right now, yeah. And of course, mind
And
you, yeah, people slap it up. Go
do
on.
you
I
think
remember.
that has something to do with how they kind of sacrificed the graphics? Because you said it looked very low grade, almost like a PS2 version sort of stuff.
Right,
Do
like
you think that they use like the budget cuts for the graphics in order to promulgate the game to maybe push it out regarding deadlines or
right,
whatever it might be, and sacrifice the visuals
the
of the game? But
graphics,
otherwise, was it fun to play?
I mean, some people would find it fun to play. Some people would basically say like, find all the grating experiences like the subpar graphics and all the technical issues for it. I mean, keep in mind, like
Well,
as of the last couple of years, Pokemon games, Scarlet and Violet and that, have been plagued with technical issues because of things like hardware limitations. But now that they have the Switch 2, which is a more powerful piece of hardware, they really shouldn't have any excuse for for lack of quality and smoothness of the game and general polish.
Jolt,
right, right.
bring up, do a Google search on what the Pokemon company's value is right now.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a good question.
because they
When
are
it comes to
evaluated
sacrifice,
as like one of the most the most highest grossing media franchise of all time, and that is in 20.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And they
like
make
when it comes to
and they make
sacrificing the
12.
graphics of the game, that's why they were able to do this.
Yeah, but at the end of
It's
the
not.
day, they skipped out on graphics quality and all of that, and and polish, and and general love and effort in the game for just and they cut out the budget to 15 million bucks, and then they charged an arm and a leg for the game based on the estimates. So I've got a
Um,
sales
all of
figure
that
here.
combined, all of that combined shows a desperation, and I do not necessarily think that lower grade graphics means that the game is bad. And that could be intentional.
Not
It
necessarily, like
doesn't have to
like
be the most
yeah,
crispest, the most beautiful. So long as there's not like bugs
right.
and glitches that compromise the
That
actual fun of the game. If it has a certain graphic style, that just adds to its own unique charm. I don't think it
yeah,
has to
that
be
right.
super
Like
crisp.
no,
like
but the
you've got
So,
problem
indies
is
that are
that
doing old style graphics and all of
but the
that,
glitches.
even
that's absolutely
Yeah.
okay.
Avira, even for a
Hmm?
game, this looks like ass.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
Yeah, so
right.
you don't want that either. Like you don't want it to look like shit. I mean, obviously, you need something that you can tell there was effort put into. If
Yeah,
even if they did have these deadlines that have to be done, uh, so long as it functions properly, and at the end of the day, you have fun playing it. That's really what the
yeah,
end goal is here.
right. So we have a report that says claims Pokemon Company reveals Pokemon Legends sold 5.8 million copies in its first week.
Wow.
So they've basically
Okay.
made all the money they wanted back and then some. But at what cost? People are not happy. People are not happy with the lack of effort in the game and the technical issues and the lack of polish and effort in it. And it's saying that despite all these figures and all of that and all the moolah that Pokemon made, it's selling that now there are Pokemon fans that have said, "Nah, I'm picking up the Digimon game that came out 2 weeks before, only to find out that Digimon actually made a game that was way better than Pokemon.
Mm.
Like that had so much, love and effort, attention to detail, voice acting, which is absent from Pokemon games,
Actually, no.
and
There was one Pokemon game with voice acting, and that was Pikachu Yellow for the Game Boy Color. Or was it
Oh,
the Game Boy? Or was it just the original Game Boy? No, so it was the
yeah.
original Game Boy.
right. But even then, like all the mainline Pokemon games, your Scarlet and Violet, your Let's Go Pikachu, absent of voice acting, right?
Yep.
Yep. And of course, Digimon Story, Time Stranger came out, all that stuff, fully voice acted, lots and lots, special animations, amazingly good graphics and all of that. But just the amount of, stuff there, the amount of love and finger that everyone put in, and now Pokemon players are converting. That's saying something, It matters like when games are made with real care and attention to detail and love and effort. That matters.
Oh yeah, and you can definitely tell. Maybe like the polls or whatever, like statistics might not see it, but like as a player of these games, someone who's passionate about it, you can clearly tell when like a new iteration of the game or a new character is introduced or some kind of change is made where it's like, all right, I've been playing this game for a long time. I understand the community. I get it. Like we just know when something's off, if it's for the good or the worse. We can pretty much tell,
When you have
and hopefully
the general
companies will
public,
respond to it. Hmm?
when you have the general public asking, "Wait, when was this game released?" You know you've done
20.
something bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if the hype just isn't there. I mean,
And
I
of
haven't
course,
played a Pokemon game in a long time, but
yeah, I don't, and partly because I don't own a Nintendo console for the longest time. But then again, of course, it's been a crazy thing because now Pokemon is basically staying stagnant in its position as king of the hills for so long now. And then, of course, they still fail to they're still reeling from Power World's sudden release. Good on them. Power World's still going strong, and they're doing something special for Halloween.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, Power World's doing something special for Halloween. Digimon is having a big comeback now, and there are big competitors coming in like Anemo and stuff.
right
So,
on.
like, yeah. So, like, what are your thoughts on all of that? Like, Pokemon either going to stay stagnant for a couple more years, or they got to because they have to shape up real soon, real fast. Otherwise, people are going to start switching. And I, for one, welcome Digimon, Power World, and all that into the scene.
Yeah, if you're asking my opinion about that, I do think that Pokemon is going to be stagnating at least for the next year and a half, maybe 2 years or so, because it's the way we've seen it be progressing. It's just been kind of slow, and the fact that Digimon and other platforms too, like Pal World, especially, has really been blowing up. Like we're going to see a lot more of that too. So yeah, Pokemon's gotta keep up. I mean, it does have its nostalgia sort of legacy going for it, so it always has like that name. You know, it does have that
Mhm.
fan base. But when it comes to like the newer stuff coming in, it's something definitely to be keeping up with. It's hard to say. Competitive, I guess.
Yeah, definitely
I
100%.
know. Like the thing is, like, as a longtime fan of Pokemon, like when it was first coming out, back in like the 90s and stuff, um, I'm just not into it anymore. I mean,
Mm.
I still am a little bit, but not like super hyped. But now, something else, maybe like I might get more interested in that. Like as
Personally,
new fans, I don't know if they'd be more interested.
I'm personally glad I didn't end up buying this game, because if I did, I'd probably be returning it at this point.
Oh, you don't think you'd like it?
Oh, hell no.
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't even buy a Switch 2 because after the last Pokemon games that came out, I'm like, no. Absolutely not.
All right, fair enough.
Oh yeah, meanwhile me wants to reinstall Powerwall on his new machine and is currently playing Digimon.
All right. Well, let's see. The last Pokemon game I played was about a week ago on my Game Boy Advance. So that's that. I haven't played a new Pokemon game in a while.
Oh yeah, emulate. I thought about running an emulator. I'm like, nah, it's good. It's good. But let's leave all of that for the wayside and move on to the next item that we have on the show. Let's see what happens in
All right.
Pokemon. Okay. Well, they're complaining about this yet again, nonstop, because they have to. Students shall not pass unless they accept Lord of the Rings is offensive. A university course suggests Tolkien's treatment of evil characters follows a tradition of quote unquote anti-African antipathy.
Huh?
Yes. This is great.
I know that headline alone is just so shocking. Oh, we must sympathize with our evil characters. They're not that bad. They're misunderstood.
Yeah, it's like when Guy Ladriel and the Rangs of Power. They tried to have the orcs as like sympathetic refugees, and Sauron is just trying to help out the minorities. What the crap? Such a goof, man. Like it was like a parody of Tolkien. This is nonsense, bro.
So, what crazy shit is going on with this franchise now?
Yeah, what are they saying?
Well, what is it though? Like, if they're not making a thing, they're doing another thing, of course. They're making what Amazon's Lord of the Rings of Power. I haven't kept up with that, nor do I have any interest in it. It is, in one word, blasphemy.
Yeah, that's
Now,
a very good descriptor.
yes. Now, the only things I will accept, of course, are the Lord of the Rings books, the Lord of the Rings trilogy movie, and the Hobbit movies. They are fine.
Yeah,
I've watched it.
I
Yeah,
know
I've
some
watched the
people
entire.
have some problems with the Hobbit movies. I really don't. I think they're fine. I think they're a bit elongated, but that's fine. It's all good. It's all canon,
Mhm.
more or less.
Yes. So, what have we got here? A university is teaching students that J.R.R. Tolkien demonizes quote unquote people of color in the Lord of the Rings books. A history module called Decolonizing Tolkien et al., taught at the University of Nottingham, uses a text that says orcs and other dark-skinned characters in the trilogy are the victims of ethnic chauvinism, quote unquote.
Stop it. That's not real. This is no, Jolt. Really? Is what you just said? A university said that. It's literally called Decolonizing Tolkien. That's the course.
Well, there is decolonizing your mind because apparently you can use black magic to kill people with lightning.
And people are paying for this to go to this prestigious university.
What's the prestigious university called?
University of Nottingham
no,
in
no.
Bongland.
What are they
So,
doing?
is that like a furry pun, or are they actually tying knots there?
Okay, maybe not super prestigious, but this is a college you go to and pay for an education in an attempt to get a job and better your life in society. What the fuck are they doing here?
They're studying
The-
they're studying history of books
this
and
is not
how.
history. No,
No,
sorry.
okay. So we're gonna go on a little bit more. Dr. Onyeka Nubia, a historian and writer who leads the module, argues that Eastern races in the fictional realm of Middle-earth are depicted as evil, while fairer-skinned peoples of the West are shown as virtuous.
But I thought that was like the whole light versus dark thing.
I mean, The Lord of the Rings is a typical story of, follows the template of good versus evil. And of course, there are so many parallels to Christianity, which I might add is one of the reasons why wicked people like, our prophet Dr. Onyeka Nubia and the people who did Amazon's The Rings of Power hate it so much that they want to rewrite it.
I would seriously love to see someone complain that Asian stories have too many Asians in them at this point.
Yeah, right. There's not enough black people. Wait, what?
Eastern European, too many Europe. Just humor me on this, but where is Lord of the Rings based? Where does the story come from?
Well,
please.
Do you want the real answer?
Yeah.
Technically, Lord of the Rings takes place in a long forgotten age of the history of our own world, according to Tolkien. So it's
Right.
supposed to be the history of the Anglo-Saxons from like European times, from like ages long been back in the day. So.
All right. So is there any particular reason why they'd all be fucking white?
Well, yeah, because it's meant to be the people that lived in Europe at the time, back in the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. Duh. That's why it is. It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with racism or exclusion of different people. It's just in that geography area at the time. That's the demographic of people that lived there. So duh.
There was this stupid chick made a little snippet video short thing online about how there wasn't so much diversity in Italy. There were too many white men. It's like, the fuck are you? This course is complaining that everyone who is fair skinned is good and everyone who is dark skinned is bad. It's like, and considering the time period, what's the likelihood they would have actually seen, people from? No, true, there was worldwide travel back then, but seriously, what the fuck?
Yeah, but they didn't think the way that we do nowadays. Nowadays, it's all way too divisive and diabolical and whatnot. Everything is political and nonsense.
And
people are taking that way too seriously.
Yeah, of course, nowadays it's all like white equals bad, evil, oppressor, colonizer, blah blah blah. And again,
the fucking Romans were not very inclusive people. They turned around, raped, pillaged, and murdered all the way through whatever landmass they were able to get their hands on. I mean, even with Africa, and did it.
Yeah, the human history is odd, but yes, but this is a case,
When it
again.
comes to Tolkien, though, like this is a fantasy world, and he's talking about different groups of people doing different things according to his entire, thousands of years history of this world. It's supposed to be a long forgotten history of European times because that was his whole vision. He wanted to have some kind of folklore for the Anglo-Saxon people, right? Like in England and northwestern Europe, because there weren't too many other fantasy stories out there. So he included dragons and orcs and goblins and trolls and all kinds of fun stuff like that, and eventually built this beautiful, incredible world. But yeah, why would there be sub-Saharan Africans in this region of the world thousands of years ago? No, of course not. Depending on where you go in the region, Middle Earth is very large and vast. Sure, there's different peoples of different colors, I suppose, but Tolkien never assumed that the color of someone's skin had anything to do with their morality. There was something called the Black Numenorians, but they were not actually black. They were called black because they used black magic and sorcery. And then they turned evil because they worshipped Sauron and all that stuff, and they were called the Black Numenorian peoples. But they weren't actually black. So I don't know
Right,
what these people are talking about when they say Tolkien's a racist. No,
right,
he never
and
said anything about that.
the other thing that was mentioned here, of course, so, you probably know more about me: Easterlings, Saffrons, and the men from Harad, the
Exactly.
Haradrim.
So the Haradrim, yeah. So the men from the east, the Easterlings, that would be the men from Rune, um, Harad. Uh, they were described as more like Asiatic features, and I think the movies kind of got them right, and it's pretty cool. But they weren't specifically. They were just evil men that served the Dark Lord, basically.
I guess that's
And
really
so
is
did
that.
goblins and monsters, but it wasn't like they represented a particular race of people in our modern day world at all. Like this,
At the
we're
end,
talking about dragons and wizards and shit.
yeah. So really, at the end of the day, those peoples, the Saffron, the Harad, and all of that, they
Mhm,
turned evil, and the orcs, of course, the elves who turned Thingo, were that way
mhm.
because they chose to pledge allegiance to Sauron, the Dark Lord.
Yeah, yeah. They were
That's
corrupted beings, twisted and deformed, evil race that threatens the freedom and love and people and whatnot. Yeah, it's an epic story. I love it.
yes, and of course, it follows the same historical template, which is of the battle between good and evil, which of course is a story that is also, make no illusions about it, playing out in present day as well.
Yeah, yeah. Throughout all of human history, there's always those with that duality of morality,
So, what
like
other
the Cold
nonsense
War.
was in the news article
Yeah,
regarding
there's
the
more other
whole
nonsense too. There
Lord
is.
of the Rings bad?
No, it's not just Lord of the Rings that this person is peeved at. It's also C.S. Lewis says The Chronicles of Narnia, racial issues in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and all of that. The Calormen in C.S. Lewis's fancy novel have long been seen by some as exhibiting Oriental stereotypes. They are described as cruel people with long beards and orange-colored turbans. Granted, I have not read the I'm a Narnia movies guy, but I have not read the I would
Oh,
like to finish the
okay.
readings of the
Um,
Narnia books.
I have, and okay. The Kellerman, yeah, they have Asiatic features, I guess, but uh, so what are they complaining about exactly? Like, who is offended by this, and what are they offended about? Like, what's the point here? Just because some certain groups of people are described in fantasy works, like all of a sudden that's a bad thing? Like, what? Like, I don't see the
Mhm.
conflict here. Please elucidate. Like, what are they mad at? What's going on?
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, like I suppose they are really, really, really mad at the whole. What it really boils down to is that they are mad at the whole at Tolkien and Lewis's portrayals of good versus evil.
Okay, so in that case, that's on them. If they are ascribing evil to a particular type of creature in a fantasy work, then that's their opinion, I guess. I mean, it's supposed to be up for
Yeah, and yet,
interpretation, right?
and the funny weird thing is what boggles the mind is, of course, the necessity of them ascribing race to any of this stuff, which is basically a stretch at this point.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Remember, we had this similar problem when it came to Harry Potter, when people said, "Oh, J.K. Rowling is being anti-Semitic," when they had the Gringotts goblins, uh, be goblins, running the bank because they look like the stereotype of Jews with the long noses and goblins with money and stuff. And I highly, highly doubt that was J.K. Rowling's intention to be making fun of Jewish people to portray them as goblins. No, no, that's just a stupid stretch that people came to that own conclusion for.
You
Same
mean that
thing that
one
we're
idiot
seeing here.
that made a video bitching about how he was Jewish and that he felt insulted by J.K. Rowling's interpretation of gold, black.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of goblins. Yeah, exactly. Like, what the
And
heck,
yet you
man?
had a
That's
Jewish
not gonna
organization
work.
turning around and saying, look, yeah, we don't actually see this as offensive. So
Yeah, exactly. It's nuts. But
I can't wait until someone turns around and starts going off about how Kung Fu Panda is offensive to the Chinese.
Well, that's too bad though, because because once they start ascribing race to anthropomorphic animals, it's it's a whole nother cluster.
yep,
But then again,
that's
which
a whole.
is yes, because after all, they should have, like, if that was the case long ago, they should have probably gone upset that because Poe the panda was being played by Jack Black.
Yes, and he's not Asian, so
Yeah.
what is he doing voicing a panda? How dare he?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, though, I will just say this regarding all of it, though. If you haven't picked up the Tolkien or the C.S. Lewis books, I really recommend you do at that. Make sure it's the books or the original or the trilogies of the movies, not Amazon's Rings of Power, and of course not the supposed Lion Witch and the Wardrobe remake done by Greta Gerwig. That is to come. So yes, because the bottom line that I will say is evil people are gonna evil and they're gonna freak out at it because Tolkien and Lewis rightly called it for what it is. May their works endure. That's all I have to say on
Right
that.
on.
So then, in that said, though, I guess this is what we've got for the week, though. So if you're just dipped out for a quick second, so Noble, you got anything to wrap this up with?
Well, the Pokemon dialogue basically shows that you can't even trust kids' games anymore. I mean, I thought Roblox was bad, but yeesh.
There at one point I kind of thought about saying, was people were also getting on the case of, was this dialogue made using AI, or again were the localizers at fault for making Pokemon dialogue? That remains to be seen. But the fact is, like, how did they get through and put such cheesy lines in there in a Pokemon game, in a line that's meant for children?
I
And
have no idea. But with that, when I look at a franchise to watch it, I try to understand exactly what audience it's targeting specifically. So, for instance, Power Rangers. Power Rangers is basically a kid's show. So when I see someone my age bitching and moaning about the fact an episode had a fart joke in it, I'm like, it's a kid's show. What the fuck are you bitching about? I mean, yeah, it was corny, but it's designed for kids. At which
right,
point, show all these bloody comments made by these NPCs and go, this is for kids?
Yeah,
right.
like
There's a whole
at
Lord of
some
the
point you gotta like take a step back and realize like what the French, like what it's actually for, like the target
Yeah,
audience. Yeah.
Exactly, and
I mean,
Pokemon seems to have been, alas, a lot of people are noticing too, not just us. So behind the curve, it's like you are basically like eternally like a kid or something or whatever. You know how Ash never seems to grow up and all of that, and the dialogue is the way it is, and so on and so on. Whereas it's contemporary rivals nowadays. Digimon had the sense to grow up. They've recognized the fans from the '90s of they're adults now,
I
and
still wouldn't turn around, and if I had a kid and I found out that shit was going on in that game, I'd take the cartridge away from the kid and just say, this is inappropriate for you. I cannot have your brain being rotted by this. I can't let you play it.
hmm
And then cringe because I know every time kid goes over to someone else's house, they're probably playing the game anyway.
yeah. Anything else to wrap this up with, Neville?
Lord of the Rings is bullshit. I'm sorry, but the stuff about how, let's do a deep study on woke shit regarding Lord of the that's just fucking ridiculous.
Mm. Evera, anything to close up with?
Well, let's see. We have a very short amount of time until Halloween, which is my birthday. So I'm looking forward to that. I can
hmm
totally understand why people are kind of like switching towards Digimon, or at least being more gravitated towards it, because at least they are kind of keeping up with the times and not stagnating like Pokemon has been for the last few years, at least. The fact that that kind of dialogue was actually like available and like open there, that like any younger players can see. Let's be real, like Pokemon is a game like for younger kids, and if they're seeing this kind of stuff, some of it didn't look totally explicit, but the stuff that was uh, no, not appropriate, man. I don't know what kind of sick joke is going on over there, or if it's like AI just trying to corrupt the youth of humanity. Who
Or a
knows?
furry.
Maybe some disgruntled employee who just like wants to screw around and add some explicit code and stuff in there, because I've never seen anything like that before. Speaking of which, I mean, AI is getting pretty spooky. This is something I wanted to mention earlier, but I'm not going to get into too much detail about it. But man, AI is getting very, very scary. Um, for the first time ever, I was fooled by it. So maybe next week I'll talk about it if we got time. But for now, I hope everyone has a good rest of your night, and I guess I'll see you later. Ah,
Yeah, absolutely. Of
that's
course. Thank you all for tuning in.
it.
Hope you enjoyed that as much as we did making the show. As always, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Bird FM, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more. Well, that's all we got for the week. Bork. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.